Aloha, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Ocean Moonflower Show. I'm so glad you're here with me today. On our last podcast, we talked about synchronicity. We talked about the mystery of meaningful coincidence and why the universe seems to get louder during certain seasons of our lives. And I closed that episode with a promise. I said that manifestation is what becomes possible once awareness is genuinely in place. That awareness comes first, and manifestation is what awareness makes possible. Well, today we're going to make good on that promise. Today we are talking about manifestation, the real version, not the vision board version, not the think positive and wait version, not the secret version that leaves you wondering what you did wrong when the thing you asked for didn't arrive right on schedule. We're going to talk about what manifestation actually is at its deepest level. We're going to talk about why it works, when it works, and why it doesn't when it doesn't. We're going to get into the places most manifestation teachers either don't know about or are not willing to go. And I want to begin today with a question. Have you ever tried to manifest something and felt like you were doing everything right, and it still didn't come? You made the vision board, you wrote the affirmations, you journaled, you visualized, you said the words, held the intention, tried to feel the feeling, and either nothing changed at all, or something shifted briefly and then quietly dissolved, and you ended up right back where you started, maybe even a little more discouraged than before. If that is you, I want you to know something right now. Right at the very beginning of this conversation, you did not fail at manifestation. The technique did not fail you either. Not exactly. What happened is that nobody told you about the part that actually does the work, the part that lives beneath the technique, the part that no vision board can reach and no affirmation can bypass. And that is exactly what we're going to talk about today. So take a breath with me, in and out. Good. Now let's go deep today, beautiful souls, because this one is pretty important. I want to start by clearing away a few things that manifestation is not, because I think there is so much noise around this topic that we have to make some space before we can actually get to the truth of it. Manifestation is not a magic spell. Boy, it would be great if it was, though, wouldn't it? It's not a cosmic vending machine that dispenses what you want if you enter the right code. But boy, that would be great too, wouldn't it? It's not a reward system for people who think positively enough, or believe hard enough, or want things purely enough. It is absolutely not a system that the universe withholds from people who are doing it wrong, or who somehow don't deserve what they're asking for. I want to be really clear about that last one, because I've met so many people over the years who have taken a deeply harmful message away from popular manifestation culture, which is this: if what you wanted didn't come, it means something is wrong with you. Your vibration is off. Your beliefs were blocking you. You wanted it too much or not enough or in the wrong way. This is not the message I am here to deliver, not today and not ever. So what is manifestation really? At its most honest and most essential level, manifestation is the process by which your dominant inner state, your beliefs, your emotional frequency, your unconscious assumptions about what is possible for you and what you deserve, and how the world actually works, shapes the choices you make, the opportunities you are able to notice, the connections you pursue, and the reality you ultimately inhabit. How about listen to that again? Let me say that over again for you. At its most honest and most essential level, manifestation is the process by which your dominant inner state, your beliefs, your emotional frequency, your unconscious assumptions about what is possible for you and what you deserve and how the world actually works shapes the choices you make, the opportunities you are able to notice, the connections you pursue, and the reality you ultimately inhabit. Your dominant inner state shapes the choices you make, the opportunities you're able to notice, the connections you pursue, and the reality you ultimately inhabit. This is not mystical in the sense of being unreal. This is deeply practical. Think about it this way. Two people walk into the same room at the same party. The same people are there. The same opportunities exist. The same conversations are available. One person is operating from a state of genuine confidence and genuine openness and a deep internal sense that good things are available to them. The other person is operating from a quiet, unexamined belief that they don't quite belong here, that the interesting people won't find them interesting, that the opportunities in this room are probably for someone else. Both people are experiencing the same external reality, but they're not having the same experience of that reality, and they will not leave with the same results. Not because the universe favored one over the other, but because the inner state each person brought to the room shaped what they could see, what they reached for, what they allowed themselves to receive. That is manifestation in its most practical, most honest, most stripped down form. Now, here's where it gets genuinely interesting. And this is the concept I want to plant right at the beginning of today's episode so it can grow across everything we talk about afterward. I want to talk about the difference between the law of attraction and what I prefer to call the law of resonance. Well, we've talked briefly about this before in the past. The law of attraction, as most people understand it, says that like attracts like. You think positive thoughts, you attract positive outcomes. You focus on abundance, you attract abundance. And there's genuine truth in this. I'm not dismissing it by any means, but I think it's an incomplete picture. And the part it leaves out is the part that explains why so many people who are genuinely trying to think positively and focus on what they want are not getting the results they expected. Here's the distinction I want to offer you. You do not simply attract what you want, you resonate with what you genuinely believe is possible for you. And resonance is not the same as desire. You can desire something at the level of conscious thought while simultaneously carrying a much older, much deeper belief that it's not available for you specifically. And it is the belief, not the desire, that sets the actual frequency you're broadcasting. The universe, whatever language you prefer for that, whether it's source, God, the higher self, the deeper intelligence of life itself, does not rank your conscious desire above your unconscious belief. It receives both signals simultaneously. And when they're in conflict, when you're saying, I want this with your words and your vision board, but your nervous system is quietly humming, I don't really believe this is for me, the deeper signal tends to win. This is the gap that today's episode is about. The gap between conscious desire and unconscious belief. The gap is where most manifestations go to die and wither. And understanding it, really understanding it, is what finally makes the whole thing start to work. So let's go deeper into this gap, because this is really the heart of everything. Inside every person who has ever tried to manifest something significant, there are two voices, and most people only know about one of them. The first voice is the conscious voice. This is the part of you that made the vision board, and I bet it was a damn good one too. The part that wrote, "I am worthy of love and abundance and a life that truly fulfills me," in your journal about 50 times. The part that listened to the podcast, maybe this one, read the book, did the meditation. This voice is real. Its desire is truly genuine. And in many spiritual conversations, it's treated as though it's the only voice that matters in manifestation. But then there's the second voice, the unconscious voice. And this one is older, quieter, and operating at a level far below the conscious intentions you have been working so hard to set. This voice developed when you were very young, before you had the cognitive capacity to question what it was telling you. It developed in response to your earliest experiences of the world, of love, of safety, of what happened when you wanted things, of what the people around you believed was possible, and whether it felt safe to want what you wanted. And this voice is saying things like, "People like me don't get to have that." Or perhaps, "The last time I hoped for something this good, it didn't come. And I'm not going through that kind of disappointment again." Or, "I don't actually deserve what I'm asking for." Or, "Wanting too much makes you greedy or foolish or vulnerable." Or, "Love runs out." Ooh, that's a harsh one. So many people were taught that one. Or, "Abundance is for other people." Or, "Good things don't last, so what's the point of building toward them?" I want to be very clear that these voices are not the truth. They are old programs. They are the conclusions your young nervous system drew about the way the world works, based on limited experience, before you had the tools to examine them. They're not objective reality. They are deeply personal history dressed up as objective reality. But here's the thing about deeply held unconscious beliefs. They don't care whether they are objectively true. They operate as if they are true. They filter your perception of what is available. They steer your behavior away from the very things you consciously say you want. They create the experience of reaching towards something and somehow always finding reasons to stop just short of it. Sounds a lot like why many people procrastinate, doesn't it? They also prevent you from getting something wonderful because perhaps you're subtly sabotaging it before it can be taken away, because deep down, some part of you is still waiting for the other shoe to drop. This is not weakness, nor is it spiritual failure. It's completely predictable result of being a human being who developed a nervous system before they developed wisdom. It's natural. Every single person listening right now has some version of this. Every single one of you. The difference between the people who seem to manifest effortlessly and the people who feel like they're pushing water uphill is not that the first group is more deserving or more spiritually developed or doing the right technique. The difference is that that first group either happens to have unconscious beliefs that are more aligned with what they want, or they've done the inner work to bring their unconscious beliefs into closer alignment with their conscious desires. That inner work is what I want to talk about now, because I think it's the most important and the most consistently skipped step in every manifestation conversation I have ever had. Shadow work and manifestation are not two separate spiritual practices. They are two dimensions of the same practice. You cannot sustainably manifest abundance if your unconscious is running a program that says, ooh, abundance is dangerous. Or perhaps for other people, it is okay, but not for you. Or that it's temporary, it's fleeting. Or it requires you to become someone that maybe you don't like or you don't trust. You cannot sustainably manifest love if somewhere beneath the conscious desire is a wound that is very quietly convinced that love always leaves, or that being truly known means being truly abandoned. As many of you know, I work with the tarot and the runes and astrology. And one of the things I love most about a genuine tarot reading is that it goes somewhere that affirmations can't go. It goes underneath. When people used to ask me what I did, I would say, well, I scare people for a living, right? Because when you start digging underneath with tarot, it exposes those unconscious programs and holds them up to the light of conscious attention for the person receiving the reading. So it's not for me, the reader, to interpret the cards for you. It's to show you what I'm seeing. It is for you, your heart, your soul, your conscious beliefs and your unconscious beliefs to take that information and process it. So oftentimes, tarot brings these things up to the surface with compassion and without judgment, so that the gap between what you want and what you believe can finally be seen clearly and honestly. Because you cannot close a gap you cannot see. So the first and most essential question in genuine manifestation work is not, what do I want? It is, what do I actually believe about what I want? What do I believe about whether it's available to me? What do I believe about what it would mean if I had it? What would I have to give up or become or face if the thing I'm asking for actually arrived? Sit with those questions, beautiful souls. They're not comfortable questions, but they're the questions that actually open doors. Now let's talk about frequency, because I think this word gets thrown around in spiritual conversations without nearly enough explanation for what it actually means and why it matters. When people talk about vibrational frequency in the context of manifestation, they're not being purely metaphorical. There is something real being pointed at here. Now, many of you know I have a deep belief in energy and vibration and things of that nature. So even if the language sometimes sounds a little bit more poetic than precise, stay with me here for just a moment. What it's pointing at is this: the emotional body, the part of you that feels, carries a distinct energetic quality depending on what it is feeling. And that quality genuinely influences what you're able to attract, perceive, and receive. Here's the part that most manifestation teachers either miss or underemphasize. The universe doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your frequency. And your frequency is not what you think. It's what you feel. This is an enormous distinction. Let me give you a very concrete example of what I mean. Two people both say the affirmation, I am abundant. I am open to receiving financial prosperity. Good things are flowing to me now. One person says those words while underneath them, at the level of actual felt experience, they're feeling tight and anxious, aware that every bill that is due and every expense that they have is looming. Saying the words while the body is braced against the current reality of scarcity, that's not abundance frequency. The words say abundance, but the body says, oh gosh, there's lack here. And the universe, which cannot hear words, only frequency, receives lack. Person two says those same words from a place of genuine felt sufficiency, not pretending the practical challenges don't currently exist. They're dealing with the same bills, the same looming expenses. but genuinely inhabiting a sense of, I have what I need today, and I trust that what I need tomorrow is on its way. Their nervous system is not braced, it's open. They're saying abundance and feeling something that is actually in the vicinity of abundance even before the external evidence has fully arrived. Same words, same exact words from two different people, completely different frequency, which brings what? Completely different results. This is why visualization works when it works, but only under a very specific condition. The condition is that the visualization is felt, not just seen. When you can close your eyes and genuinely feel what it would feel like to have what you're calling in, the warmth of it, the relief of it, the joy of it in your body, rather than just in your mind, then visualization is doing something real at the frequency level. When you are watching a mental movie of what you want while your body remains in the emotional state of, oh gosh, don't have that, what are we going to do? The visualization isn't a pleasant daydream. It's not manifestation. Because internally, you're suffering. This is also why gratitude is one of the most powerful manifestation practices available, and why it has to be genuine to work. Performed gratitude, the kind where you write a list of things you're grateful for, while feeling nothing in particular, is not moving the needle on the frequency level. Genuine gratitude, the kind that wells up in you when you actually pause and you let yourself feel how much goodness is already present in your life, even in the middle of the hard seasons. Now that moves the needle. That's a real frequency shift. It's actually changing what you're broadcasting. Now, here's something I want to address directly because I think it's important and it often gets skipped in manifestation conversations. Grief and manifestation are not opposites. I want to say that again. Grief and manifestation are not opposites. So many people come to manifestation work carrying the belief that they need to get a positive emotional state before they can begin. That they need to clear out the grief or the anger or the fear or the heartbreak first. And then once they're feeling good, then they can do the real work. And I can understand why that belief develops. It's a natural conclusion to draw from a simplified version of how manifestation is often taught. But here's what I've found, both in my own life and in years of working with others. The dark night of the soul, the periods of genuine grief and genuine loss and genuine darkness, very often precede the most significant manifestation breakthroughs of a person's entire life. Not despite the grief, but because of what the grief did. We often don't think about that. Grief, when it is genuinely felt rather than suppressed, cracks things open. It can dissolve old identities that were no longer true, or clear space that had been occupied by relationships, beliefs, and self-conceptions that needed to end, so something new could begin. The dark night of the soul, that period of disorientation and genuine spiritual difficulty, is very often clearing the way so that the next chapter has everything that it requires. So beautiful souls, if you're in a hard season right now and you're wondering whether this is the wrong time to be working on manifestation, I want to offer you a different frame. It fucking is the right season. Excuse my language. You may be in exactly the right fucking season. The clearing may be happening right now, and damn it, it hurts. I know. I've been there. But the most powerful thing you can do in this moment is not to force yourself into false positivity. Screw that. Instead, genuinely feel what is here. Let it move through you and trust that what is being cleared is making room for what is coming. The sun's going to shine again, and when it rises, things are going to be beautiful. So feel the feeling, all of it. That's not the opposite of manifestation work. That is the work, my loves. That is the work. Now I want to take us somewhere that feels counterintuitive, because I think it's the next piece and the one that most people resist the hardest. And it's also the one that changes everything when you finally stop resisting it. We need to talk about surrender. I know. You came here to learn how to manifest the things you want, not how to let go of them, but bear with me. Here's what I've noticed in years of doing this work. The white knuckle grip on a specific outcome is one of the most reliable ways to prevent it from arriving. Hey, you don't want it to come? White knuckle grip. Don't let it go. So let's spend some time here, because the grip at the frequency level communicates something very specific. It communicates that you don't actually trust that the thing is coming. You're holding on with everything you have because some part of you believes that if you loosen your hold for even a moment, it will disappear. And that is a frequency of fear and of lack and of not trusting the universe or yourself or the process. It's the opposite of the open, receptive, genuinely trusting frequency that allows manifestation to actually flow. So think about how this shows up in real life. The person who wants a relationship so badly that every date becomes a test. Gosh, help the people that they're having a date with. Every text message becomes a referendum on whether this is the one. Every early conversation becomes an audition. The other person can feel even when nothing has been said explicitly. That desperation is tangible. It's in the room, and it tends to push away exactly what it's reaching for. Or let's say the business opportunity that someone is so terrified of losing that they over-explain, over-promise, and come across as someone the other party's not sure they want to work with. Precisely because the desperation is visible even when the words are professionally appropriate. I cannot tell you how many of those conversations I've listened to on the other side of a bar while I'm making cocktails. It happens so more often than you'd realize. And this is why so many significant manifestations arrive when people have genuinely let go. Not given up. There's a very important distinction between genuine surrender and defeat. So let's name it clearly. Giving up sounds like this is never going to happen to me. It's not in the cards. I should stop wanting this. Sounds familiar for many people. But genuine surrender sounds like this. I genuinely want this. I'm doing my inner work. I'm taking my aligned action, and I'm releasing my grip on the specific form and timing because I trust that what is genuinely right for me is on its way. And my job is to stay in alignment rather than to control the delivery schedule. That second one is a completely different frequency. The second one is about faith. Blind faith, genuine faith. Not performed faith, or faith as a specific technique or a magic spell or, a step-by-step list of do A, B, and C. But the actual deep, quiet trust that comes when you have done your inner work and genuinely come to believe that the universe is not withholding from you. That the universe actually wants to give you what it is you desire. That frequency moves mountains in ways that effort alone simply cannot. So let me introduce you to a concept that I find genuinely life-changing. And that is the distinction between inspired action and desperate action. Most people who are trying to manifest something are also doing a lot of doing, taking steps, making moves, working toward the goal. And action is genuinely important. Please hear that. Manifestation without action is just wishful thinking. The aligned life does not simply rain down gifts on people who are sitting on the couch, eating bonbons, holding positive thoughts, and thinking, okay, it's going to land in my lap. Actions matter. But there's a world of difference between the action that comes from genuine inner alignment and the action that's coming from fear. Inspired action feels different in the body. It has a quality of rightness to it. It arrives as a clear, calm, almost obvious next step rather than as a frantic scramble to try everything and leave nothing to chance. We talked about those synchronicities on the last podcast. And remember that following those synchronicities, because of taking inspired action, produce different results than ignoring them. The same holds true with manifestation. Inspired action feels different in your body. The vibration is different. The frequency is different. It tends to be efficient in a way that desperate action is not. Because it's not burning energy in every direction possible, hoping that something eventually hits. It's moving in the direction the inner knowing is pointing, with trust rather than panic. Desperate action feels like urgency. Like if I don't do something right now, it'll never happen. Like exhaustion after enormous effort with disappointingly small results. Like the hamster wheel you can't seem to get off no matter how fast you run. If you recognize that second description, I'm not saying stop taking action. I'm saying take a breath, go inward, and ask yourself, what is the next truly aligned step from a place of genuine trust, rather than what is the next frantic move from a place of fear? Those two questions will lead you in two very different actions, producing different results. The paradox of genuine manifestation is this: you must want it clearly, but hold it lightly and trust it completely. All three things simultaneously: clear desire, light grip, deep trust. That's the frequency that moves mountains. Okay, so we've talked about the unconscious beliefs that block manifestation. We've talked about frequency and feeling and why the emotional body matters more than the words. We have talked about surrender and the difference between inspired and desperate action. And now I want to address the question that I know is sitting with some of you because you have done the work. I've worked with many of you. I know this. You genuinely have. You have examined the beliefs. You have done the emotional clearing. You have released the grip. You are taking aligned action. You are genuinely in a place of trust. Damn it, I'm proud of you. But heck, it's still not here yet. Some of you start to lose a little bit of hope because it's not on your timing. So what does that mean exactly? Let's be honest about this, because I think false certainty does more harm than genuine nuance. Sometimes the delay in manifestation is still about block work that needs to happen. There are layers to the unconscious, and what becomes visible in the first round of shadow work is not always everything. Sometimes the clearing goes deeper before the channel opens completely. And when that's the case, the continued inner work, the continued honest self-examination is genuinely the most important thing that can be done. But sometimes, and I believe this genuinely and completely, the thing has not arrived yet, not because something's wrong, but because it's not yet time. Not because the universe is withholding. By golly, they got it lined up for you. You know, John Smith, that thing is right there. It's ready for you, but it's not the right time. Not because you're being punished or tested. You're being prepared, either in an external circumstance or within you that's not yet ready. If you accept it too soon, maybe it won't stay. If you accept it too soon, maybe something will happen that's outside of your control. There needs to be preparation, and the universe is preparing you for what it is that it has for you. So let me give you an example. Let's say you want a specific kind of relationship. A genuine partnership with someone who's healthy, loving, fully present, genuinely able to meet you, and you've done all the real work. You've cleared old wounds. You've shifted your frequency. You're generally open in a way you weren't 2 years ago. But still, the relationship has not yet arrived. So here's a possibility I want to offer you. The person who's coming for you, or the version of the relationship that is genuinely right for you, may also be in a preparation season right now, doing their own healing. Finishing something that needs finishing. Becoming the person who is able to genuinely meet the version of you that you have become through all of your work. The delay is not punishment, it's timing, and the timing belongs to more than just you. And I see this a lot in twin flame connections, because many of you know I've worked with numerous twin flames on my channel, and I myself am a twin flame. Often the divine masculine and the divine feminine are in two different preparation seasons. And sometimes one or the other of you, or both of you, has some healing and some learning to do. It's just a fact. It's just part of the whole twin flame dynamic. If you're not on the same page and you're not in the same place, and you haven't both done your healing, you haven't both been prepared, the timing's going to be off. So let's talk about something I think is genuinely beautiful and genuinely true. Sometimes what we are manifesting is not primarily the thing we think we're asking for. Sometimes what the soul has actually put in motion is the becoming, the version of yourself that you are required to develop in order to genuinely hold what is coming. Oh my gosh, think about that for a moment. If the relationship or the abundance or the purpose-aligned career had arrived 2 years ago before all the work you've done since then, would you have been able to fully receive it? Would you have been able to sustain it? Would you have trusted it? Or would some old wound have eventually found a way to dismantle it? Sometimes the delay itself is the gift. Not because suffering's good. We all hate suffering. The universe doesn't enjoy watching people wait. The universe wants to give you what it is that you desire. But genuine preparation, the kind that only time and inner work can produce, is what makes it possible for the thing to finally arrive and actually stay. Actually stay, my loves. To arrive and stay, not arrive and you lose it, or arrive and you can't fully hold it because you don't understand it, or arrive and it disappears just as quickly as it arrived because you're not ready for it. There's productive patience and passive avoidance. And there's a distinction between the two. Productive patience is still staying in motion. You're continuing your inner work. You're taking aligned action. You're remaining genuinely open, reviewing the beliefs periodically to see whether there's a layer still waiting to be addressed. You're living fully in the present while remaining genuinely available to what is coming from the universe. Passive avoidance is often what people who are waiting call it spiritual surrender, but they're just not doing the work. Telling yourself you have surrendered when you have actually just given up and haven't admitted it yet, that's passive avoidance also. Using the concept of divine timing as a reason to stop taking action at all. Just sitting around waiting for it to arrive. The soul knows the difference between those two stances, even when the mind tries to dress one up as the other. And the cards, when you're genuinely reading them for yourself, will almost always show you which one you are actually in. So if you're in a waiting season right now, be honest with yourself about what kind of waiting it is. Is it the productive kind, where you're genuinely aligned, faithful in motion, and trusting that the arrival will be the right time and that it will be real for you? The timing belongs to wisdom greater than either of us. Now, before we close today, I'd like to give you something practical because I think there's something genuinely useful here that most people don't talk about. How do you know when your manifestation is actually in progress, even when there's no external evidence? Because here's the thing. The outer world always lags behind the inner shift, always. The frequency changes first. The belief shifts first. The inner alignment happens first. And then, after what we can feel like is a frustratingly long pause, the external world begins to catch up. The lag is normal. It's not evidence that the work hasn't taken hold. It's simply how the process works. Here's some genuine signs that something really is moving, even when the outer evidence has not yet arrived. You begin to feel genuinely different about the thing you're calling in. Not desperate, not grasping, just something quieter, more settled. A quality of it's coming rather than, I hope it comes. That shift in inner tone is so significant. It's when your frequency is actually moving. Another sign is that synchronicities begin appearing around the specific thing you're calling in. The book that keeps appearing with the relevant title, or the conversation that surfaces the exact subject. The sign that connects directly to what you've been holding. Remember all that we talked about in the last podcast. If you haven't heard it, please go give it a listen. It's about synchronicities. And shortly after I did the podcast, I had a day filled with so many synchronicities. It was insane, but insane in a good way, right? Because I had just done the podcast and went out to do a little bit of work, and it was so significant because the synchronicities that were occurring were literally my life in motion. The first synchronicities started with regards to my early years, the years of about age of a baby to age of 10. And then the next synchronicities that occurred were my teen years. And I'm not kidding you. It was so bizarre in how exact it happened. And then it was, my different relationships in life and my work relationships, things of that nature. And so I was able to kind of watch the unfolding of my life occur through all these synchronicities. And it was the universe's reminder of how far I had come and how far I had made changes in my life, and how all of the things from my early lifetime shaped and molded what I've become today. And it was genuinely moving for me. So if you have not listened to the last podcast, I strongly advise that you give it a listen. Synchronicity is interesting. It could be signs, it could be conversations. When you're open to receiving them, the volume increases on a specific thing. And as you pay attention, more synchronicities occur. And those synchronicities, within them, something is moving. Small previews begin appearing, not the full thing that you're trying to manifest, but versions of that manifestation. A moment of genuine connection when you've been calling in deep love, or a sudden unexpected abundance when you've been calling in financial ease. Those are all signs as well. Small previews are not random. And they're so freaking beautiful. Because they're the universe confirming that the channel is opening and that the full delivery is on its way. You can begin to feel genuinely worthy of what you're calling in rather than quietly hoping you might deserve it. This is one of the most telling signs that you have had a genuine frequency shift. When the sense of I am genuinely worthy of this begins to feel true rather than aspirational. That something has genuinely changed at the level that matters most. And you begin to notice with some clarity what needed to change in you in order for this to become possible. The old belief you finally released, the wound that finally softened, the pattern you finally saw clearly enough to step out of. When you look back and you see the preparation, it is usually because you're approaching the arrival. These aren't guarantees. I want to be, very direct about that, because I think certainty is not the most helpful thing I can offer you here. But they're meaningful signals that the inner work is producing inner change and the outer world is beginning to align. So stay the course, beautiful souls. The lag is not a stop sign. And it's not a detour. It's not telling you to go in a different direction. It's the process doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So let's bring this conversation home now, because we've covered a lot of ground today. And I want to make sure you leave with something clear and usable. The most profound shift available in manifestation work is the shift from doing manifestation to being the person who naturally lives the life you're calling in. And I know it sounds abstract, so let me make it as concrete as I possibly can. Every significant thing you're trying to manifest requires a version of you to inhabit it. A version of you who believes they deserve it, which is what we discussed, right? Who has done enough inner work to stop sabotaging it, something else we also discussed. Who has a nervous system that can actually tolerate the goodness of it without collapsing in on itself from the inside or sabotaging it. A version of you who trusts themselves enough to make the decisions required to sustain it. Most manifestation work focuses entirely on the what. On the relationship, on the money, on the career, on the home, on the life you desire, on the goal, on describing it in as much detail as possible and visualizing every single element of it, feeling it as if it were already here. Okay, so those practices do have genuine value. I do agree that they do. The most powerful manifestation work I have ever witnessed in my own life and in the lives of the people I've worked with is the work of becoming. Of asking not just what do I want, but who do I need to become to genuinely live that life? Or who do I need to become to genuinely attract what it is that I desire? What would be the thing that what I desire is looking for? For instance, you want a specific job. What would they be looking for? Are you missing anything? Do you need to learn something? You want a specific type of relationship. What would that type of person be looking for? Do you meet what they'd be looking for as well? Because both sides have to be in alignment. That's where the lag is, bringing both into alignment. So why not speed up the process a little bit by looking inward. I'm not telling you to become somebody else. But what I am saying is that you need to become the person who truly believes in yourself, that you deserve what it is that you desire. And you have to also look at how the world looks about love, about money, about our own self-worth, about, what kind of habits you need to have, what kind of boundaries you need to have. What is your relationship with your own intuition? Are you following it? Are you trusting it? And what quality of presence in your own body and in your own life do you currently have? Because when you begin to genuinely embody that person that will have the manifestation, even in small ways, even before the external circumstances have caught up, the manifestation, it accelerates dramatically. Because the universe will not deliver the relationship or the person who is still carrying the wound that will eventually end it. It delivers the relationship when the person has done enough work that they can genuinely receive and sustain it. This is the most loving version of the truth I know about manifestation. It's not withholding or preparing you, or preparing for it, rather. It's the preparation that comes with genuinely looking at yourself and being prepared for the arrival and the sustainment of that manifestation. And that can only happen when you're in alignment with what it is that you desire. Not temporarily. We don't want to put you in a situation where you're going to self-sabotage or there'll be some sort of self-destruction of the manifestation, but truly inhabiting what it is that you desire. So let me ask you a couple questions as we end our episode. Who is the version of you who already has the thing you're calling in? Not what do they have? Who are they? How do they carry themselves? What do they believe? How do they treat themselves? What have they let go of that you're still holding on to? Because that version of you is not a future fantasy. That version of you is available right now. Small, genuine, deliberate steps is all it requires. In the belief you choose to examine today, the wound you choose to look at honestly this week, the action you choose to take from alignment and not fear, and that grip you choose to gently and courageously loosen. Manifestation is not something to chase. It's time to become. And the becoming, beautiful souls, is not only the means to the end. The becoming is genuinely beautiful in itself. The version of you that emerges from this work, regardless of whether every specific thing you ask for arrives exactly as you imagined it, is worth every moment of honest, courageous, genuinely open-hearted efforts. Let me remind you, beautiful souls, you've not failed at manifestation. You may simply not have had the full picture yet. And the full picture is this: the outer and inner work are not separate. The technique and the healing are not separate either. Both your desire and your belief have to be in true alignment before the channel truly opens. So now you have the picture, so use it. But be patient and be compassionate with yourself as you do this work, because the unconscious programs that you are creating, or that are creating the gap between you and what you want, were not created overnight. Some of them are old. Some of them are from childhood. They served you once, and they've served you on and on again, but they deserve to be released with compassion. Be gentle and persistent and honest with yourself. Because that lag that we talked about between your inner shift and outer arrival is normal. It's not failure, so keep going. Stay in motion, stay in alignment. The outer world is catching up to the inner shift, even when you cannot see the evidence. Trust in yourself. The version of you who has done the inner work, who has genuinely shifted the frequency and released the grip and taken the aligned action and stayed in true motion, that version's not waiting for permission from anyone or anything outside of yourself. It's not waiting for permission from anyone, not from the universe, not from tarot, not from any teacher, not even including me. That version of you knows and trusts that you are becoming, moment by moment, with every honest choice, the person who naturally lives the life that you've been calling in. That version of you is already on the way. And I can't wait to hear about it when it arrives. So make sure you keep me posted, okay? Next week on the show, we are going to be talking about runes, something that I am truly, truly crazy about. The forgotten wisdom of runes, messages from the ancestors. Because after 2 episodes about awareness and about becoming, I want to take us into one of the oldest symbolic systems available for understanding exactly where we are on our path and what the ancestors have to say about where we're going. It's going to be a powerful podcast, and I hope you will be there. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today, beautiful souls. If this episode stirred something in you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you have something you've been manifesting and you want to share your story, I always love hearing from you. Be sure to visit me up on oceanmoonflower.com, send me a little note, and let me know about it. Aloha, beautiful souls, and mahalo. Remember, you're not behind, failing, or anything of that nature. You are becoming, and becoming, it turns out, was always the most important part. With loves, my darling, kiss, kiss, ta-ta for now, and I shall see you on our next podcast next week.